Hello guys and gals, welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a while, a long while, too long of a while, and I owe you an explanation. That is why I'm here. And my plan as I come back is to stay here and to continue to interact with you, and my plan is to put out more quality content, better quality content, and things that you want to hear and want to know. My channel is focused on medicine, lifestyle, and fashion, so you will come here and you'll get tips about healthcare, you would get you would get my story about my journey to becoming a doctor, but you will also get fashion tips. You would see me building some stuff and putting stuff together, so vlogs and things of that nature. So this is my life. This is me sharing a piece of me with you, and I hope that you guys enjoy the journey. If there is something specific that you're interested in seeing or hearing, please let me know. Do not hesitate to ask. I am constantly thinking about new ideas of different types of content to bring forth, so if you have any ideas, that will actually help me help you. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Martin, and you're watching Fearlessly Living. Let me first start by saying I'm sorry that I have been MIA. I needed the time to take care of myself, to take care of my mental health, which we all know is very, very important. I think just to kind of explain what has been going on in my life, the new things that have been happening, and where I am right now, is to just start from the beginning. A lot of you know that I went to med school overseas. I am an IMG. That is the International Medical Graduate. I am a U.S. IMG, meaning that I'm a U.S. citizen, but I went to med school overseas. We have non-U.S. IMGs who schooled their home country that is located outside of the U.S. So those are non-U.S. IMGs. So if you hear me saying IMG, that is what I'm saying. I am saying International Medical Graduate. I did my undergraduate education at Widener University in Chester, Pennsylvania. Post-graduation, I took a year off, really trying to figure out how to even navigate the system of applying to med school, becoming a doctor. It was nerve-wracking. I am the first doctor on both sides of my family, so you can imagine I really didn't have much direction when it came to that. I really had to look for resources. I had to look for mentors. I had to look for people that looked like me and understood my background, understood what it was that I was trying to achieve. That was difficult. So I took a year off, and I did some home. I was a case manager and assisted. It was more of a home health living facility. So I kind of went there and helped with one client, kind of get them more so focused on their behaviors and their day-to-day tasks that they had to accomplish. I did that for about a year while I applied to med school, and then got into, I really initially was trying to figure out what to do. Then I found out about Caribbean schools or schools overseas that I did not even know that existed during my time in undergrad. So somebody told me about this, and quickly I did some research. I applied to a bunch of schools overseas and got into a bunch of them, got into all of them. You will get into all the schools you applied to, Caribbean medical schools you applied to. You definitely will get into them. Some of them are a bit more expensive and more demanding, which the popular ones like Ross University or St. George University. A lot of the IMGs that you might know and see, they probably went to those two top schools. Everyone knows of Ross. Everyone knows of St. George University. I did get into both. It was just so expensive, and my parents were paying out of pockets, and we weren't going to get a loan or figure out how to get a loan, all of that. So that was really like the main thing, was like the price. It was really much more expensive than the other ones, and rightfully so. They had more experience, they had more doctors in residency, they just had a better track record, and it makes sense. So I went ahead and went with Caribbean Medical University in Curacao. That's where I schooled, and I was there for about a year and a half. It's kind of a fast track program, so your first and second year, your what I like to call your book work year, your non-clinical years, that was on the island. It was about a year and a half. It was fast tracked. And then post graduating basic sciences from the island, I moved to Chicago. That's where I lived for about 5 or 6 years. I moved to Chicago and I started a Kaplan program, review program, and then I worked while I studied for step 1, and so on and so forth. Fast forward to the time, 4th year, few months before graduation, trying to figure out when to apply, trying to get all my test results back, and trying to get scheduled for my exams. I had some difficulties with my school when it came to approving me to take the CS exam. So this is pre-COVID, where we were still taking CS exams. Currently, I believe that they've stopped the clinical science portion of it, and I think they're doing something in place of it that I don't know too much information about. So pre-COVID, if you're familiar with taking the CS exam, which is the clinical skills practical portion of the board exam, I think there are only 6 clinical sites throughout the U.S. So there's one in Chicago, Philly, I think LA. And there are some other places those were the top 3 ones that I knew about, because those were the places that I looked. And luckily for me, I found something in Chicago, but it was so late because my school took so long to approve me that when they finally approved me, I didn't get a test date until September. And it takes 3 months to get your scores back, which means I would not get my score until about December. And application season opens in October. And I started asking my school to grant me access into applying since like February of that year. So it was very frustrating for me. So first time around when I applied, my test results were not all in when I applied. I think I only had step 1 in when I applied, which was really a risk because my step 1 score was very, very low. If I'm being completely honest and transparent with you, my step 1 score was very low. So that was really not a good idea. But the way I look at life is this way: like, I don't want to regret anything, and if I don't try, I'll never know. And I don't want to look back and say I wish I would have. So I always just go for it with everything. I just do it and learn from the mistake, tweak what I need to tweak, because you never know. That one time it might work out. You never know. It didn't, but I tried anyway. And so that was the first year. I didn't match. It was devastating, but not so much because I understood that my application was incomplete. My step 1 score was low, and I'm a US IMG, meaning that they don't really know my school. They don't know how well my school scores, tracks with grades and things of that nature. So it made sense at that time. So the second time around, all of my scores were in. I got, reviewed on my letters. I had people look at it and everything. So let me pause for a second. The first year I didn't match. I kind of withdrew a little bit from social media, but primarily from YouTube. So this is why I have been absent. It hit me, but it didn't hit me so hard. So I took that time to really try to build myself and to figure out new ways to make my application better. Post step 1, when I first got my step 1 score back, at that moment I really was in a space of that I would never be a doctor with this score. No one would ever accept me with this score. I am pretty much finished. Like, what do I do with my life now? That's the space I was in. And because I'm one of those, I call myself an emotional thug. An emotional thug because I give myself a limited amount of time to feel my feelings, and I have a lot of feelings. So I would say, okay, I'm giving myself 1 week to grieve, to be down, to be sad, to cry, and to lay in bed. But after that, I have to work. I have to figure out what my next steps will be. And post step 1, I did that, and then I automatically started emailing people I found on the internet, LinkedIn. I came across ACP, which has changed my life dramatically. ACP stands for American College of Physicians. So post step 1, even before applying to residency, I joined ACP, and the chapter and the location where I stayed at the time were in need of a medical student chair. And I was in need for connection, and I needed to connect with people, to ask questions, to figure out how I could be better, because I was not ready to give up. ACP helped me a lot because I met with some amazing people, and the part of the reason why I'm even a resident today is through ACP. The leadership, the backing, the support was amazing. Till this day, I'm so grateful to the physicians that I met through ACP and the other residents and students that I met at that time. My leadership skills was straightened, my communication skills were straightened through ACP. Getting me into the U.S. System as a U.S. IMG, there's a division between the American medical students and medical graduates and the IMGs, because there's like this divide. I want to say 99.9% of U.S. medical graduates match into residency program. I do not know the exact stats. I will look it up and I will place it on this video. Not so much for IMGs. The percentage of IMGs that go unmatched every year is it has been improving, but there is a drastic change compared to the American medical graduates. So kind of like breaking into that world of like, how does the American system work when it comes to schooling and like connections and getting into residency, because ultimately that's where I need to be, that's where I want to be. So that was the task. So post step 1, I joined ACP. Fast forward back to not matching the first year, very devastating. So I reached out to my ACP contacts and they were so instrumental in like hooking me up, linking me up with the right people, and words of encouragement, looking over my resume, my personal statement, even going as far as writing me letters of recommendation. I think when people ask me, what do you suggest? What do you want to do? Personally, for me, it was so difficult to find research. It was difficult to break into the system, you know, and just to try to boost my resume. So this was something that helped me a lot. Joining this organization gave me insight and connected me to the right people that I needed at that time in my life. So I would highly suggest, whatever field you're looking into, whether it be pediatrics, OB-GYN, surgery, find that national chapter, that national organization. Find a local chapter within your area. Try to join that chapter. Talk to people. Find mentors. There are people out there who want to mentor the next generation. Find those people, talk to them, and just grind and hustle your way through. So first time around I didn't match. Second time around I went to my ACP contacts and like they looked through my personal statement. They gave me words of encouragement, and through ACP I was able to get a few interviews, and now it's the second year. So first year I didn't match. I got through that time of being sad. I try to use depression lightly, but I was definitely depressed for a while. So I got through that, overcame it. During that time, this is a side note, I planned and built a business called Blohdi. That is my middle name. So check out www.blohdi.com. It's a little commercial break. I'm wearing one of my Blohdi pieces for this summer season right now. It's women accessory and jewelry, and I just added clothing for the month of July. So I'm really excited about that. So I turned that depression, I turned that pain into something positive, and I started a business, I built a business, I launched a business the second time around. So first year, I'm trying to go into chronological order here. Didn't do well in step 1, automatically found a group that could help me. I joined ACP. Didn't match the first time around. Also, I'm going into this with only my step 1 scores. My step 2 scores are not back yet. Both step 2 CK and CS is not back yet. I applied anyway because I do not want to regret. I want to live without regrets, so I applied anyway. It didn't work out. I was sad. I turned my sadness into a business. I built Blohdi. Now come to match season 2021. This was 2019, 2021. I'm going to with a lot of confidence. I have spoken to my advisors, my mentors. My application is strong. I have able to secure a few more interviews. I go to the interviews. I think they go well. One of the interviews in particular that I want to really stress on today, because it's actually truly a testimony. I went there interview day. I got to the hospital, and during the tour and everything, I said to myself, as desperate as I am to have a job and to work within this system, I'm not comfortable with this hospital. I don't like the environment particularly. It looked under-resourced. And because I want to be the best doctor I could be, I want to do all of the procedures. I want to learn as much as I can. I don't think it's just a space for me to have optimal learning capability. And I'm very spiritual, if you don't know that by now. And I said to myself, and I said to God, I don't think I will be happy here for the 3 years that I'm going to be dedicating myself to this hospital. I will take it because I'm desperate for something, but I don't know if this is where I would really love to be. The power of your words, and I really want you to understand this and stress this, and I'm stressing this point because it's so important. Be very careful what you speak and how you think, because your words are life and they have. It is very important what you speak and what you think, because they will manifest and it will become life. So when I stated that, I don't know if I would really be happy here, it manifested in a way that I said to God, like, this is not where I really want to be, but since I really am looking for something, I will be okay with it because I'm desperate. And that's the place that I was in. Long story short, I didn't match there. This was my second time, no match. And I was fortunate enough to be able to meet with somebody that worked at that location. And the person pretty much said to me, we're getting ready to rank you, but all your paperwork, and they worked at that location. And when we spoke, they had resigned. They no longer worked there. So they were in a different, entirely different location, jobs, everything. Like, everything was new. But they were just meeting with me to kind of encourage me and to also let me know, like, give me tips on how my application was, how to improve it, so on and so forth. So there was no conflict of interest at this point. So they were saying, your application was strong. We thought you did well. We're getting ready to rank you, but unfortunately, all your paperwork wasn't in. And I said, well, all my paperwork was in months, before I even got the interview. And we talked and whatever. It was an encouraging conversation, and we separated. We went our separate ways and we left. And I called my father and I was like, I don't think me not matching this year was a bad thing. I really believe it was a blessing in disguise. I believe that God is setting me up for something greater. And I truly believe that, because for the fact that I said that I don't want this and I won't be happy here, and the fact that I didn't get it because paperwork wasn't turned in, but paperwork was actually really turned in, that right there was just like confirmation about how important our words are. Words will manifest and it will become life. So it's very important what you speak and what you say, because it will come to fruition. And I really sat and thought, I was like, what? I think I've always believed that, but that moment really became confirmation for me. And I was, from that point on, I was really intentional in my words and my actions, even till now. And I've always said this to people: be careful what you say, and always speak what you want. Speak life over yourself and your family, your friends, and your business. Everything that you want, speak it, because it will come to fruition. So that was the second year, no match. And this is all of the time I have been away from YouTube. I have been trying to figure out how to make my way back, so on and so forth. So third year, 2022 coming around, I'm not talking to anybody about match. I'm not discussing where I applied, if I got interviews, if I even applied. I am avoiding this conversation like the plague, okay? So match week come, I get notifications of my email on my phone. I turned off my notifications. I don't want anything to pop up on my phone, because with the match results, you could see in the title of the email whether you matched or not. You don't even have to open the email all the way. You could just see from the preview on your phone. And the past 2 times that happened to me, it was devastating. So this time around, I told myself, I'm going to turn this thing off. I will sit down, be in the right frame of mind, the right space when I look at it. Match day comes and I'm like, I want to be back on YouTube. I want to document this journey. I really want to, step back out encouraging people and really, going back to my passion. That was the plan. The plan was to get dolled up, sit in front of my computer, have a live reaction recorded, just to kind of share that with you guys, because I always planned on coming back. I didn't do that. I slept in. I gave my dog a bath. I was relaxed. It was so much so that I was like at peace. Like, I literally was resting in the peace of God, because usually the past 2 times, anxiety, like, all you could think about, like, you can't even, like, your stomach is in knots. Like, that's all you could think about. Day of, night before, my friends were like, we're praying for you. You're going to do well. They're encouraging me. And every time I got a text message from a friend, I was like, oh yeah, it is tomorrow. Like, I had really forgotten. Like, had put it behind me. I was like, God, this is in your hand. You got it under control. I had let it go. I walked away from it. The morning of, I'm thinking I'm going to get the email around like noon. So around like 10 o'clock, I'm like giving my dog a bath. I'm relaxing. I hear my phone ding. And I got a text message from a friend. He had also been trying to apply for about 3 or 4 times previously. So we have been kind of encouraging each other and going through this process together. And then he messaged me. He was like, how did you do? How did it go? And I was like, oh, I thought this was coming at 12, but I guess it's out. So I sat on my bed. I took a deep breath. I opened up my email. I had to like scroll down a little bit. And it was right there like, congratulations, you matched. I'm telling you, I could talk about this now and not be emotional because I've had some time to process, even though I still feel like I'm dreaming. I fell to the floor and I started to sob. And all I could say was like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Because this is something I've wanted for so long. My entire life, every decision that I made has brought me to this very moment. Like this moment, I have worked, 31 years for this, like, and I'm finally here in this moment that for some time, I never thought it would happen. So I'm overwhelmed with emotion. I'm like, I'm speechless. So first person I call is my father, because that is my ride or die. That is my guy, okay? I call him. And I'm sobbing on the phone. I'm inaudible. Like, you can't hear anything I'm saying. And he's like, what's happening? What's happening? And I'm like, I got a job, Daddy. I got a job. I got a job. Oh my God, I got the job. I got the job. And my dad's crying as well. And we're just like worshiping God. And we're like, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Like, that moment, I really wish I would have recorded, even if not for YouTube, for myself, because just a reminder of how good God is, and the program that I matched into 100 times better than that program that I said, God, I don't think I would be happy here. Like, I would accept it and I would roll with it, but I don't think I would truly be happy here, and I don't think I would be my best self here. Program I'm in now, I love. I feel so far, I've only gone through orientation. I'm starting my first call in 2 days. But with what I've seen so far, I feel so supported. The resources are there. Everything is there. And I know that I would be the very best doctor I could be at this program. And for the fact that I was crying over something that I didn't even really want, 2021 match cycle, I didn't make it, and I was crying over a program that I didn't even really want, and that I told God that I didn't want, and I didn't get, only to get to a place where I feel like this spot has been prepared for me. Divine intervention, divine timing. Like, everything has been done through God's timing and His purpose and His plan for my life, and overwhelmed with praise and worship and thankfulness. Like, wow, God, you did this for me. And still definitely feeling imposter syndrome. Don't feel qualified enough to be here. Don't feel like I deserve to be here. But I'm here now. I've signed my contract. I am going to work my behind off to prove myself. Not just a girl that likes to look cute and dress up. I know some stuff, and I'm going to prove myself to this program and to God, just to say thank you for appointing me to this position for such a time as this. Like, this has been predestined, and everything that has taken place in my life prepared me for this moment. And I was overwhelmed with emotion. And Friday is the day, that Friday of match week, that's when you find out like what program you got into. And I'm sitting here and I'm like looking at the email, like, okay, maybe this is to me by accident. Let me make sure like my name is on it. Let me make sure my ID number is correct, because I doubted myself. I got to a point where I felt like this wasn't going to happen for me. I was even contemplating other career paths at this point. And when I got the email, I was like, okay, this is my name. This is my ID number. This is really happening. Immediately started getting bombarded with paperwork. And it was like, Still so surreal. First day of like orientation, still so surreal. Even now, I feel like I am dreaming. I'm in a dream program. I'm in a beautiful town. People are so nice. They're so loving. Everything is just working out for my good. I'm saying this to anybody who has waited for something and it looked like it's not going to happen. And you may be here just because you want some medical advice. You just want to know how my story ended or how it's going along. Whatever it is that you're waiting for, the waiting period is difficult. Trust me, I know. It is hard. It is tough to continue to trust God when it looks like nothing else is turning out right. But once that waiting period passes, honey, it is worth the wait. Immediately, I started to forget all the times that I've cried. Those 2 years that I went through all that struggle, it's almost like I'm slowly forgetting. It's almost like I don't even remember all the times I was sitting in my car like, oh my God, here we go again. All the times I was like reaching out to people and trying to better myself and trying to make my application better. All the nights that I cried, all the times that I called my parents like, maybe this isn't for me. All of that seems like a far distant memory. Like it's almost like I can't even remember it. So everything you're going through right now is temporary. All the pain, all the crying, all the struggling, whether it's you're trying to have your first child, you're trying to get a house, maybe you want that dream job, you're waiting to get into law school, into med school, you're waiting to pass the bar. Whatever it is that you're waiting for, trust God. Wait and be patient. And during that time, practice gratitude. Gratitude will take you a long way. The day before match was a Sunday, and I went to church. And like I said, this time around I had the peace of God. Like I was so at peace. I went to church, and like periodically I remember, okay, tomorrow's match day, but still would like kind of forget most of the day. And at church, there wasn't really an altar call. There was just like come to the altar if you want to worship. And I went there, and I wasn't asking God for anything. I wasn't praying for anything. My prayer, and while worshiping really was, God, even if it doesn't happen for me, you have already been so good to me. Up to this, for the 31 years I have been on this planet, you have blessed me. You have protected me. You have guided me. You have ordered my steps. You have favored me. If this does not go as planned, I thank you either way. And I said that really truly believing it, really truly being in an attitude of worship, really truly like saying, God, like no matter what, you are good. No matter what, you've been good. And I think that was really what even brought me through the attitude of that peace of mind, that presence of God, just being at peace, having that peace of God, is that I truly said it and I believed it, like, God, no matter what, you have been good to me. And gratitude will take you a long way. I believe strongly because of gratitude, I'm here today. And I want you guys to really practice gratitude. I have a gratitude journal. I'm going to link it below that you can use to help you. To just daily, even the little things, be grateful. Gratitude will take you a long way. A grateful heart opens the windows of heaven. Blessings will flow into your life just because you have been grateful to God. Do not forget that. Before I leave, let me leave you with something. There was a story in the Bible when Jesus healed the leper. There were 10 leopards. He healed all 10 of them. And I'm paraphrasing, I'm summarizing. The minute they were all healed, all of them started running towards the town. Mind you, they were leopards. They were exiled. They weren't even allowed to be among these people. The moment they became healed, they ran into town to go and be with the people that put them into exile in the first place. One of them out of the 10 returned to God and Jesus and said, thank you. He was grateful. And because of that, he was made whole. He wasn't just healed. He was healed and whole. The other 9, they were healed. They were not whole. Gratitude will make you whole. It won't only heal you, it will make you whole. Be grateful for everything, anything. Never quarrel. Be humble. Be grateful. Try not to complain too much. I still do. I'm working on myself. I am not perfect. But I'm telling you, practice gratitude. It will take you a long way. I'm a spiritual person. I'm a Christian. I'm a child of the King. If you come to my channel, you are going to get medicine, fashion, lifestyle, and Jesus. I promise you that. So yes, I think if you can take nothing away from this, is to definitely hustle. Do everything you can to be in the right room with the right people. Trust in a higher power than yourself. You cannot do this all alone. Be careful what you say and what you speak, because your words are life and they will make manifest. Lastly, practice gratitude if you do nothing else. I am Dr. Samina Martin. I am a first-year resident in the internal medicine program. I am extremely happy. I am blessed. I am terrified of what's ahead. I have anxiety about it, but I believe that it will go well because I'm willing to put in the work. It took me 3 years to match. I only got one interview the third time around. All you need is one. You can only work one job, not 18. Do not lose faith. Do not lose hope. There is light on the other side of the tunnel. Trust me. I know, and I've been where you are. Keep hope alive. Keep faith alive. If you would like to connect with me, you can follow me on Instagram, here on YouTube, or you can email me. You can reach out to me. I try to respond to people. I'm going to be very busy now, even busier than usual. But I'm definitely willing to reach out and communicate and help in any way that I can. That's why I'm here. That's what this channel is for. Before I leave you, I mentioned my business earlier. It is Blohdi. That is my middle name. It is from West Africa, Liberia, meaning mother of the earth. It is from the Gribble tribe, which my father is. These are a pair of earrings from my new summer collection. I will link it below, and I'll also leave a discount code there. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. I'm here, and I'm here to stay. Thank you for tuning in and watching this very long video and staying through the whole thing. Until next time, I am Dr. Martin. You have been watching Fearlessly Living with Dr. Martin. I'll see you in the next video.